Let me give a quick introduction of what to expect today, and then we can start with the actual program. So we host these roundtables as a regular networking event for people from the L&D community to come together and network. So of course, by nature, the people on these calls are mainly high-level L&D professionals, trainers as well, coaches, service providers in the field, as well as sometimes some C-level executives if they want to get some new inputs maybe on how to enhance their learning programs. And the reason we're doing this is that we really want to foster like an exchange of people in this space, to provide like a platform that's not just, I guess, where you hear about a topic, but where you can also engage a bit more interactively and ask questions and exchange your experience on things and connect to new people as well. And the way we structure them, so today will be no different. We build the roundtables around a specific focus topic on like L&D related, have someone give a keynote speech on the topic, and then after that really open the whole event up to for everyone to be able to share their experience, introduce themselves as well, and ask questions, of course, and really make it a bit more interactive and connect with each other. At this point, I'll very quickly hand over to Chris. Chris is the founder of Blue Elephant Solutions, and he'll give a very quick introduction as well.
Thank you, Max. First of all, I really have to also say thank you for Amit for being our keynote speaker today. We're really looking forward to this one because the topic of personalization is also super close to our heart. And what we do is we build learning tools for our customers, either standard learning solutions or also custom learning solutions. And now with artificial intelligence, we're really building or trying to build some personalization in there. I think especially in the space of learning and development, artificial intelligence can play a key role to support the learning, not to replace a trainer or anything like that, but you know, to enhance the experience. You see here a few tools. I'm not going to go into details. Knowledge Gym is focusing on spaced learning, spaced repetition. We have an AI content generator where you can upload a PDF and it generates the learning content. We have an AI coach where you can practice interactive conversations with a chat bot that even speaks to you and moves the mouse and the head. We're currently building the AI assistant where you can upload company specific documents and then have in the user front end a chat interface to chat with these documents and this content. And as mentioned, we also do a lot of custom development projects. But all of this really always on the focus on personalization. And therefore, I'm super interested to hear from Amit on his perspective on personalization and learning and development. And Max, I believe you will say a few words to him and introduce him to us as well.
Yeah, correct. So in case anyone wants to have a quick look into the chatbot, we have a use case for this one that simulates like an interview conversation. So if anyone has their phone ready, feel free to check it out. Otherwise, you can just find it in the app stores as AI job interview coach as well. But yeah, I'm very happy to introduce today's speaker. I'm sorry. And again, thank you, Amit, for joining us today and taking the time out of your schedule to tell us more about your experience on personalization. To give you a quick background, Amit has 16 years of experience in learning and development, has worked in high-level functions across multiple industries or sectors, has led learning and development functions as general manager as well, and has had responsibilities like building up blended learning practice for his organizations, enhancing training effectiveness and evaluating the training programs. So yeah, really happy to have him on today. and share his experience on the topic. He also actually publishes L&D related articles on the LinkedIn blog. So that's worth checking out as well. And yeah, just connect with him, of course, on LinkedIn otherwise. And yeah, Amit, again, thank you so much. I will stop sharing my screen for a moment then, which will allow you to share yours. And yeah, looking forward to your presentation then. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Max and Chris. Really thrilled to discuss about the topic, which is actually really close to my heart. Personalization. Personalization, when we speak about, in L&D or training functions, we generally speak about empathy, or in any service for that matter, we speak about empathy. So personalization is something that really brings about empathy into the learning and development function, because when we are personalizing our content, our modules, it is basically thinking from the learner's perspective, not from the L&D practitioner's perspective. So bringing in your clients or your learners' perspective into the learning, that is what brings more empathy into the overall functioning of training department or learning and development for that matter. So it's like, not just preaching about empathy, but just but also kind of implementing it in your own function as well into your day-to-day operations. So in fact, I would like to understand from people who are connected right now, what comes to your mind when we speak about personalization of learning.
Just a very quick one. I don't think we can see your presentation.
I'm going to share it now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Just
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I just make it up present a view. Give me a second. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to speak about. Just wanted to understand, Diana, any thoughts on what comes to your mind when we speak about personalization in learning, or personalized learning for that matter? Am I audible? No, yes.
Yeah.
So personalization is, like I mentioned, it's about thinking from your learner's perspective. So learner has to be in the center when we speak about personalization in learning. So there can be different learning styles people may have. Like when you think about a topic, or when I say for example, when I say apple, okay, somebody would think about or experience the taste in their mouth, or somebody would have that smell of that, or the fragrance of the apple coming to their olfactory senses, or somebody might imagine the shape of the apple. So people may have different perspective when we talk about one particular thing. So it's like one thing, but then people may have different perspectives. So a few examples, if you were just go through it. When you are traveling, how do you find your way around? There can be different things. You might want to look at the maps, or you might prefer asking somebody who is localized, or maybe you will just find your way on your own. So there can be different perspective, different situation, but then same situation but different solution for different people. If you are into reading, you may have different thoughts about reading a book. You might want to read a magazine or a book which have a lot of pictures in it, or maybe no picture but then a lot of words, different vocabulary, or maybe different kind of concepts given in the book. So again, one book, but then reader can be of a different style. Sometimes we have when we think about a word, there can be different again perspective to it. Like if you want to spell it, how do you do it? Maybe you want to write it down yourself to understand what is the right spelling for it, or maybe you want to say it out loud so that this is what the right spelling should be, and this is how I'm pronouncing it. Or maybe you'll sometimes you trace the letters in the air just to kind of arrive at the right spelling. So again, one situation, but different solution for different people. So similarly, there can be different perspective, and you can find out your learning style also depending on how do you want to go about learning something. See, this entire concept of learning style, it's not a new thing, though People talk about personalization in learning a lot these days. However, the concept dates back to 1970s or something, when the research around it started. In fact, there are multiple learning styles, and a lot of people have kind of worked on it. So people like David Kolb, who has kind of spoken about experiential learning and has given different names to different learning styles. Like learners could be accommodating or converging or diverging or maybe assimilating. So different learning styles there. Yeah. And later on, there was an extension to his work, which was done by Honey and Mumford. He just kind of, extended the work that David Kolb's had done a little earlier, and given a different name like activist, pragmatist, reflector, theorist. So there can be different people. People could be who are more into theory to learn something. There are people who would try to understand from a practical point of view, how would I go ahead and implement this? Yeah, so there can be different people and therefore different perspectives. And the most common work, which was done by Walter Burbach and later on enhanced by Neil D. Fleming, is WAC style, commonly known as WAC, which actually means visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So people may be more into visuals. When you want to learn something, you might want to have a lot of pictures around, so that you can touch upon your imagination and learn something. Or maybe you want to hear some sound or visuals, or a video for that matter, so that you can connect more with it. And there can be people who are more into or who would learn something when they do something. So when they get some action. So for example, uh, uh, there can be different people. So for example, I'm teaching you something, or I'm helping you learn how to use chopsticks. So you might want to see a video, or you want to just see me using it, or maybe you want to just kind of try it using on your own, how to learn. Yeah, so there can be different learning styles, and there is no right, wrong, or there is no perfect style. There is no best style. It's just a style. It's just the way you learn. All right. So I've just given you a bit about different learning styles. Uh, I'll just give you a brief understanding of how this entire thing will help, or what is the benefit of understanding the learning styles. So the first step definitely is about understanding that there are different learning styles. People learn in a different way. But then if you are able to kind of, bring that empathy into your training modules, you will have a better engagement. Yeah, because people will be able to more connect with your training modules, because they're able to connect with it. If my learning style is visuals and I'm getting more visuals or pictures around it, I'll be able to better connect with the whole learning content. So definitely it brings better engagement. And if I'm able to connect, definitely I'll have a better retention and therefore application of whatever concepts I have learned as a learner. And the most debatable topic in learning and development is around the outcome, or the ROI, or the return of investment of whatever time, energy, money, whatever resources that go into developing a content, or executing the entire concept or initiative. So definitely, if the people are better connected, if they are able to implement those concepts, whatever they have learned, it is definitely going to yield a better ROI, or return on investment. Because whatever concepts are being taught, if they are able to implement those concepts effectively in their day-to-day life or day-to-day operations, that is what the entire L&D intervention has to be kind of focused on. If they are not able to implement, end of the day, it is not yielding anything. So the entire time, energy, resources, whatever go into developing a content revolves around ROI, which, like I mentioned, it's the most discussed or debatable topic, because it becomes very difficult to calculate the ROI or the effectiveness. But then if you are able to bring this personalization into learning, it will definitely give better outcome, and ROI definitely will be enhanced. Like Chris also mentioned, about adapting to the learning style of people. And with e-learning coming into picture now, it is definitely possible. And AI coming into this thing, we can definitely learn from how people are learning, and then kind of customize it the way they want. So with all those technology coming to our help, I think we can definitely utilize and make it more user friendly, or I would say learner friendly, and giving better application of entire concepts, whatever they may have learned over the course of going through the modules. Yeah. Just to kind of give you a understanding about how would you go ahead and implement the entire concept. So it's all basic concept of learning. We need to kind of assess the needs. What kind of learners do we have, depending on the industry, depending on the age group of your learners. You can understand what kind of needs they might have, and what kind of technological readiness you already have in your organization, and definitely resources and budget you would have to kind of understand and implement it accordingly. Yeah, so that's there. And once we have kind of understood the needs and our own readiness, we'll be able to better design the entire framework around those learning concepts. And to start with, we should have a couple of learning paths, because we do not know what kind of learners do we have very clearly. Though we can, in the first step itself, we can use different tools like psychometric analysis, or maybe surveys or interviews to understand their learning paths or their learning style. But then when you actually implement it, you'll have a better data to look at and understand what kind of learning styles people have. And therefore you can implement it, or design the entire content around it with a couple of learning paths. And as and when people start using it, and you have a data in front of you, you'll be able to analyze what is working and what is not. And then basis that, you'll be in a better position to implement all those learning paths using the technology, whatever you have, or maybe you want to outsource to some vendor to implement that. Yeah. So definitely customized learning paths we need to implement. And whatever has been implemented, like in training, we always say whatever we are able to kind of evaluate, that is what gets improved also. So we need to evaluate and reiterate whatever, or iterate whatever progress we have made. So
Okay. I think we lost Amit here for a second. Let's see if he can log back on, maybe. Hello, Amit?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
It's just a lot of background.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So apologies for that. I think there's some technical issue with my laptop. It's got kind of shut down abruptly. While I will definitely look into it. But then, yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of background noise that you may be experiencing. Is that so?
Yeah, I don't know. No worries. I mean, it happens.
I would propose that maybe we can you can verbally quickly explain the rest, and then we can also go over into the discussion part.
Sure. So I'll take about another minute to kind of conclude or sum it up. So, like I mentioned, we'll have to assess the needs first of all. Basis that, we'll design the content and implement based on whatever things we have designed. And once we implement it, it's very, very important to evaluate the progress and make the course correction if there is anything. And if you are able to do that regularly, like we always say, the training or learning is a continuous process. So if you are able to assess it every time, and based on that, if you are able to make the course corrections, and it's like cyclical process. You assess the needs, design, develop, and implement, evaluate, and once basis on the evaluation, you'll again have to kind of design and implement, and continuously keep doing that. So that's one example. If I were to kind of give you in our daily lives, I'm sure we all watch Netflix. Yeah. So Netflix is something which personalizes what you are watching. So it will suggest the kind of movies or series that you are glued onto, or whatever your likes are. It will keep suggesting the contents based on your likes or dislikes. So this is nothing but personalizing the content. Though the example that I'm quoting is not related to education or learning, but then yeah, something which we use it on our daily day-to-day basis. Yeah. So yeah, bringing in the personalization will definitely yield you better ROI or results, whatever you are trying to target, or the outcome that you are planning to get from your learning interventions. So if we understand the requirements of our learners better, we'll be able to implement them, and definitely we'll have better results. So this is where I'll take a pause and pass it on back to you, Max. And apologies again for this technical glitch.
Sorry, just looking for my unmute button for a second. Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Amit. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Happens sometimes. But thank you for your presentation, and giving us some insight on why personalization is important in learning. And at this stage, we usually go to like we're like opening up the event and the setting, and give everyone the chance to ask questions around the topic, or maybe share their experience, like just connect amongst each other. We're a bit of a smaller group now, so technically there's like plenty of time, of course, but yeah, maybe here's just a few pointers on how to approach it if you're not sure what to say or how to start. But maybe I mean, like some people dropped off now, but let's maybe start with you, Diana. Then can you, I don't know, do you have any questions first and foremost, maybe to Amit, or about personalization in general? Or I think you're muted, unfortunately.
Hi, hello. So I'm Diana, and I'm training manager at Vodafone at Portugal, in the retail training manager. So I work with stores and telemarketing. I'm in Portugal, so current project. So I'm very interested in knowing more about personalization, because I deal with our target group. We are about 1,000 people, so it's very, very hard to personalize anything. And I think it's very interesting to look into it, not only because of what Amit said, so about the learning style that is spectacular, but before that I have even a more important problem, is we have people that are with us for 15 years, and we have lots of people that are here for 2 days. So, and our training is the same, basically the same for everybody. So we need to look a little bit into it. The problem is normally is lack of people working the training teams, and budget, because normally the more technological answers, they have a very high budget. So but I'm looking into it to see what we can do.
Yeah, yeah, of course, and thank you for for sharing that. Um, I could imagine it's probably something that a lot of companies like find challenging, especially if it's like bigger companies like the size of yours. Like how do you efficiently tailor things to different learning groups and to different levels of experience and those kinds of things as well. I don't know if Amit, maybe like throughout your career, like how have you approached those things maybe in like your organizations? I don't know if you can maybe share some input on this or
Sure, Max. Diana, I think the first thing that we need to look at when we speak about diverse employees, like you mentioned about 1,000 of employees you have. Okay, and this is where I think e-learning comes into the picture for a typical classroom settings. It becomes difficult to have a customized learning plan for everybody. But with e-learning coming into picture, you can have different or diverse learning paths for people. So, say for example, somebody who's a newcomer into the system, all right, that person will definitely have a different learning requirement because that person would want to know more about the organization first, or maybe the philosophy of the company, or the history of the organization. All right, so that person will definitely want to understand more about the organization or what is supposed to be done. And people who are, say, 1 year in the system or a little, tenured employees, their requirements will be different. So even in the classroom setting, you can have different programs based on the tenure. Okay. And if you have done some training need analysis before you kind of plan the overall training program, it will be better customized, and you will have definitely have better results. So a proper training need analysis has to be done before you kind of implement any learning solution, be it e-learning or a typical classroom program. So a lot of time what happens is you get a training requirement, and actually your training is not the solution. So a lot of time there are operational issues because of which people are not able to perform. So a proper analysis is required to understand whether a training is actually the solution or something else is required. So right input will give you the right output. So I hope I was able to kind of give you some understanding around your question.
Yeah.
Or I don't know whether I have given you the answer or further confused you.
Yes. No. I think yeah, I didn't understand everything because you have a little bit of noise, but I think that is a really good point. And the problem with the different paths, normally we have to develop the different paths, and that takes a lot of time. And it's a small. Uh, um, we are a small team in the learning development, and we have even it's so difficult to do what we already do because in this company they're always happening. So every time there's a new phone, a new technology, a new system, and we need to develop a lot of training already and different paths. That's our difficulty is exactly that we don't have people to develop different paths. What I'm trying to do also is connect to different teams in the company because it's a very big company. And what I've learned is that we are in retail and we are developing some content. And there's another team in the digital, for instance, that is developing the same kind of um, programs, and maybe you can join forces and work a little bit on that. I'm looking into it, but also I think technology is always a good solution. The problem is always budget, so as I said, because I think technology can help us, and with AI can help us do those paths in a more effective way, requiring less human interaction. Although I think we always need to have a human eye, but it can help us move a little bit faster.
Jana, can I ask, are you creating all the course content yourself, or is this like when you look at the path of also external content like LinkedIn Learning and whatever is out there?
No, not all of them. It's like we have, for instance, if it's a phone, it's the brand that is doing it. But obviously, I'm going to analyze if the training is effective, if they like it. So I'm doing that. And there are some content that I develop with 2 more people. Even our initial training, for instance. But there's also other contents that come to us, but people that are developing, they are not trainers, so they are content, sorry, product managers, for instance. They have a product, they do the PowerPoint presentation, but it's not good for training. So we need to adjust everything. Because it's like a book. Have all the information written, and for training is not that what we would want. So we need to adjust.
So that's where customization comes into the picture.
Also that, but we don't have time for personalization. So because we have lots of things to do, we don't have time for personalization. So we need to find a way to personalize it, because I think it's there are some things that are very important in the future. One of them, I think, is personalization, and I think we need to have some type of technology helping us. That's why I came to hear what is going on, and that's why.
One more thing here. Sorry, Chris, to interrupt you. Yeah. So what happens is, when you have technology in place, it becomes more scalable. So whatever learning strategy you are implementing, right now, I mean, today you may have 1,000 employees. Maybe your organization will expand in terms of the overall operations or in number of employees. Tomorrow, say for example, you have 2,000. If you have the right technology in place, it becomes scalable. Though your training team remains whatever number of people you already have, but with right technology in place, it becomes more scalable, and you'll be able to expand it to whatever number of learners you have.
Correct. Yes. Yes, it can be scalable. The problem is always I need to understand what type of options we have, the budget for each option, and get it approved. That's the most difficult part. But I think it's to work on that.
We are currently experimenting. So we're not at a final product stage, but we're experimenting with a solution where we scan if they have LinkedIn profiles or the CVs of the employees, and then we recommend external trainings from a list of verified training providers, and we try to say, look, this might be the next thing in your curriculum. And we could probably also adjust this. I don't know if you have learning pathways structured already in your company where you say this is, or at least this is the requirements and the goals, and we have some kind of assessment. I think there is possibilities to customize those learning plans for different individuals and use artificial intelligence actually for this, or even sometimes it's even not needed to have an AI, but we have just like some algorithm that helps to sort this.
No, we don't. We have a set of e-learnings that everyone that comes new needs to do it. So it gives you a global perspective about our product, our service, and also cybersecurity and LGBT. And so something. So it's like how you should work here, and be very cautious about our information, because of course we need to make sure that people that are working with us are proper trained in that. And the cybersecurity, for instance, is a very important topic. And we have another set that is more the products and the service. So we need what you need to know to start selling. But it's not personalized at all. And for instance, for someone that is with us for 10 years, sometimes they need a refresh that, but we do that with live trainings. And so many people that maybe we need to have something that they can do in their own time, because it's very hard when we're working with stores. The problem is every time that you have a training that is live, those people are not selling. So you need to have other people with the customers, and you need to take them from their place. When it's an e-learning, they can do when it's more convenient. If it's the stories don't have a lot of people there, you can go to the back office, and you can work a little bit on your training. But with live training, it's more difficult.
What do you do in those live trainings? Is it more like somebody standing in the front explaining the new product features, or
no? It is like this: is Teams, and we have someone that is going to present whatever, a new product, a new service, a new procedure, and normally we do a lot, some like 3 or 4 sessions, so we can have most of the people there, and that's it.
I think I have something really, really cool for you. So because I'm coming from sales training. So I was doing for Siemens Healthineers a long time, the sales training in the company. And what we have developed is, we showed earlier this AI job interview coach, which is only like a proof of concept to show potential customers what this technology can do. And if Max allows me, I will very, very briefly show this to you, because you can really use this not only to practice job interviews, but you can practice this one. You can use this to practice selling skills and to really sell, like whatever kind of sales approach you have, like negotiation to yes, or value selling, or all those kind of things that the salespeople really use the right triggers on the customer side, and they can practice this in an asynchronous setting, which means whenever they want, they can just practice that on their mobile phone. Let me very briefly show that to you. And it's super interactive.
That's another problem, is the phone. And 2 of the topics that I want to develop is personalization and accessibility. Accessibility, to be accessible. And mobile is a fantastic tool because everybody has it.
Exactly.
The problem is when with cybersecurity, it's our biggest issue. But I'm trying to understand what you can do about it.
The problem is with what?
Cybersecurity, because the phone is a personal item, and does not meet the requirements that we need.
I mean,
So,
if you have highly confidential information, then of course I wouldn't do this there. If it is,
yeah.
You should always have probably a risk assessment of what kind of training can you do, use personal equipment, and what kind of training could you not do.
Yeah.
So what we have here, just to briefly introduce this, is there's different conversation scenarios. All of them here are around the topic of job interviews, and they're just different personas.
Okay.
In your case, that could be different customer scenarios. So you as a company, you can customize those scenarios. And you can just go into one of them. Let's say we choose this guy here. We have a description. In this case, it's around a job interview, but you could have like, hey, this customer is following situation, and now please perform a sales pitch to him. Now, again, job interview is this example that we have built here. You can, for example, say, I want to have a job interview for the industry of, I don't know, which industry are you in? Retail.
Retail, yeah.
Retail, and my role is sales manager, for example. And then the AI will now take over the role of the hiring manager, so to say, but it could, of course, take over the role of a customer and so on and so on. You see, it's even, you can upload your picture and we animate your picture. You can have a, like, you don't need a video or anything. And the AI will now also start talking to us in a second.
Good morning. Thank you for coming in today. I am Mr. Aziz, the head of HR. I would like to welcome you to our job interview for the position of sales manager in our retail department. Before we begin, could you please introduce yourself and tell me a bit about your background and experience in sales?
Okay, that's
Now I can, of course, completely freely interact with him. Like, hi, I am Chris, and I have 5 years of experience. So just as normally I would probably do more, and you also can speak to it. There's a speaking bubble, so you can just turn the engine, and then it will again reply directly to us now in this way. And you can customize those scenarios completely for your organization.
Good morning, Chris. It's a pleasure to meet you. Could you please elaborate on your previous experience in sales? What specific roles have you had, and what were your responsibilities in those positions?
And we also, because now I once replied, I get a feedback from the AI, also saying like a coaching feedback. What could I do better? What could I have done better in this interaction? So you can have also to the salespeople some feedback. Hey, maybe you should not approach the customer so directly. Don't ask directly if they want to buy, or whatever kind of coaching. So it's really a coaching assistant for conversations.
It's very interesting, and it's very inclusive also because you can read and you can hear.
Correct.
It's very interesting.
The other tool, when we talk about product training, is, but that's still in development, is we're building currently a tool which we call the AI knowledge assistant. So in the back end, this is the back end, the content owners, for example, that own the products, they can say, we want to create a knowledge repository. So there's like different knowledge repositories to different topics. And then they can upload documents, PDFs, PowerPoint, text documents, whatever they have, into this knowledge repository. And they can assign which users should be able to access this knowledge. And the users, they go to the front end. And in the front end, again, on the mobile phone app, they have now access to those repositories, but they're not opening the documents. What they do is they have an AI that they can chat with regarding the content of those documents. So you can say, hey, what was the weight limit on this and this product again? Or in which sizes do we have this product available? And the AI will query the information and give you directly the answer.
It's very. What's the name of that technology?
This one we call the AI knowledge assistant.
Okay.
That's the tool here. And the other one is the AI conversation coach.
That's.
And same as Amit said, we like with the conversation coach, right? We not only try to have the written things, but also the audio feedback, the visual feedback. We try to adopt this to all the different types of learners. Yeah, those are, I think, 2 tools, especially when you talk about sales training, product knowledge, that could be quite interesting to explore, you know, even if you build them yourself. Of course, we're living from selling products as well, but our intention is we love this whole space. We want to help you to make progress in this and find solutions that work for you.
And do you have like a cost that you can associated to this or is completely personalized? Depends on what the companies choose, or do you have like a number that you can give me?
You mean in terms of cost?
Yeah.
So what we decided that we want to do here is we will make it based on usage. So of course there is large language models in the background and they have tokenization. So you as a company, there's no base cost, like it's probably, at least you would probably get it for free, the base version. And then whenever your employees are using it, then you pay for the tokens that are used up for that. And the prices are small compared to what it would cost the employees going to the intranet, trying to find the documents that they need and calling the second level support. So I was just talking, I shared with you, I was in Siemens before. I was talking with a friend who's in service, and Siemens Healthineers alone has 2,500 people working in the second level support. So if the first level service people don't know what they need to do, they call the second level service people. 2,500 times average cost of 100,000 is €250 million they pay every year for second level support. And the second level support is not doing anything else than checking the documents, trying to find out information that the first level doesn't have. So you give the first level the app, and they will ask 20, 30, 40% less questions. So you save immense amounts of money.
Okay. Another question, I need to go to another meeting, but I wanted to ask something else. Does this work in Portuguese?
I haven't tested it in Portuguese, but it's working in German. And the user front end, let's put it like this, like the buttons, change password and so on, we have in English. If there's a requirement to translate that into Portuguese, that shouldn't be a problem. Mm. But the conversation itself and the documents, the querying of the documents, I would want to test it, but I'm 95% confident that it works in Portuguese.
I really need to go, but I thank you so much for your time, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Diana.
Thanks. Good to see you, Diana.
Bye.
Amit, also really thank you very much for your overview. It always opens the eyes. We are very technical focused, but you had this other perspective of, you know, like how to adapt the content more to the user's needs and how their perception is. And it already sparked some ideas on what we can do to improve our solution as well, to keep the memorization and the impact in the learners up. Yeah, really good.
Thank you so much. In fact, my apologies for the technical glitch, because of which, you know, my session also got interrupted, and right now we have a background noise. So apologies there.
No worries at all. I mean, you very, very quickly came back into the meeting. I was actually surprised. I thought we lost you completely. So perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks from my side as well. I mean, great to connect with you in general. We've had a couple of chats now over Zoom. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time as well and then preparing this presentation and then giving us your experience on it as well.
My pleasure, Mark.